Welcome back, my Jedi friends, and today we're going to talk about Christmas chaos, dealing with family bullshit. Dealing with family bullshit, folks. Now, to those of you that are regular, you'll know that I talk a lot about this subject, but we're going to take the very topical subject of the Christmas family get together. Because interestingly enough, people surveyed about the most stressful things in life, stressful things, and Christmas was in the top 10. It was in the top 10, folks. Christmas, the time of love, the time of joy, the time of peace, folks, the time of peace, love on earth, peace on earth. And yet there you are with your dearest and nearest at the family gathering, and there's always an arsehole bullshit factor that you have to navigate. Now, maybe there isn't. Maybe you're lucky. Maybe you have peace and love, folks. Maybe you have peace and love, which is great. If you've got that, well done. Slam dunk, you don't need to watch this video anymore, folks. If you've got peace and love with your family at Christmas, then by all means turn this video off. You don't need it. You have awakened. You've woken up, my friends. Well done. But to everybody else, this video will hopefully shed a little bit of light on, and I'm going to tell you stuff that you already know. You already know it, folks. You already know this, but have you owned it? That's the question we'll be asking today. Knowing versus owning. You know what's right, but have you owned it? You know it, but have you owned it? And that's what today is about. Is it time for you to wake up to the family bullshit factor? Now, if you're like me, you've got a history or track record of family get-togethers where there's always an element of stress. Always an element of stress. Somebody maybe has a bit too much to drink, starts getting a bit looser with their lips, starts letting loose the family stuff that's been repressed for God knows how long. And that's just one of many scenarios that can go down at the family get-together. There's often somebody that's used to rubbing people up the wrong way. And there's a sense of entitlement about them as well, because they've got away with it for so long. So let's talk about this, because this is actually a factor that people have mentioned in the comments. And this is family that you have to deal with. They've got a track record of bullshit behavior, but for some reason, you're feeling obligated to do something to help them out. Let's talk about this today. Let's talk about this dynamic. So, there's somebody in the family that's been getting away with bullshit for too long. Now, you can blame the parents, which are probably part of the package here. Usually, the parents have a central role in this. And usually, there's an arsehole and a victim involved, usually, folks. And what happens is when you've got the arsehole factor, they're too strict. And when you get rid of the arsehole factor, there's no leash there, there's no control. And what you end up with is an arsehole kid because there's no restriction. And the reason that this dynamic plays out is because you're so glad to get rid of the disciplinarian, let's call them that. You call them the arsehole because they fall out with everyone, they ruffle a few feathers, everybody's on tenterhooks around them. Then their exit stage left in the equation. Maybe there's a divorce, maybe you've got rid of them, maybe they've moved out, maybe they're dead. Who knows? I don't know what the dynamic is. But when that influence goes away, then there's no control. You're so opposite to go to the other way to keep everyone happy, to let people get away with stuff that you can end up with arsehole kids. You can end up with any number of arsehole behaviors within your family. But the bottom line is you feel bad, you don't like it, you don't look forward to it. There's the symptom, folks. You're not looking forward to it for fear of what will happen. Because what it's like is a bit like putting popcorn in the microwave and you press the button and it's all calm at the beginning. It's all very calm. And as time goes on, pop, pop, pop. And then suddenly, now maybe that's not your family. Maybe you're slightly less down. But the bottom line is that this can happen. Not just at Christmas, but Christmas is a reason for family to get together. It's a reason for people to tolerate bad behavior. It's a reason to throw people into the mix, folks. So, first and foremost, let's start here. This is really important. I want you to take an empowered approach. You tolerating bad family behavior is enabling more of it. Let's start there. If you're putting up with bullshit and doing nothing about it, then you are almost as guilty as the person that's handing it out. I want that to sink in, folks. Now, I wish I'd had somebody give me this conversation or this talk 20 years ago. Would have made my life a lot less stressful. And for me, it's a relatively recent thing that I've come to the conclusion of clear boundaries and saying no. So transparently, for me, peace this Christmas is not having to navigate any family. That's my Christmas peace, folks. That is my gift to myself. To know that I'm going to have a fantastic day. I'll call a few friends. I will have a good time. I will watch shit that I want to watch. I will eat shit that I want to eat. And that is family bliss for me. And that is the release of having to deal with anyone else's agenda. Now, not everybody's family is as fucked up as mine, but if you're watching this channel, they possibly are. They possibly are. And maybe I'm one step ahead down the route of actually saying, no, enough is enough. Maybe I'm not. Maybe you've gone through the other side and you've reached this conclusion. But one thing I can tell you for certain, folks, is that family behavior does not improve by you putting up with it, by you tolerating it, by you not dealing with it. All you're doing is creating your own mental health issue, and you're creating a forum to grow shit behavior for them to go out in whatever relationship they go into. You're creating an arsehole, folks, by not dealing with bad behavior face on. And part of that could be, no, I don't want to be part of this. Walking away is a tactic that we've talked about a lot. Don't be afraid to call an early exit on your family issues or your family do if somebody kicks off, but call out the behavior. Let's start with that. Calling out the behavior is your route to better mental health. Now, you might get in an argument. It might be a no-win argument because the thing is, if you're dealing with narcissists, they're always right. It's a zero-sum game arguing with a narcissist. We've talked about that at length on other videos. If you're dealing with narcissism, folks, then that is a different kettle of fish and it's almost survival. You're not going to win. Being in their company is a zero-sum game because the narcissist wins through you reacting or responding. That's exactly what they wanted you to do because they get their fix from watching you squirm and knowing that they can press your buttons. Press your buttons, folks. We can press your buttons. So you don't want your buttons pressed. And if there's people that are frequent offenders of doing that, then what the hell are you doing there, folks? It's better for you, for your mental health, to avoid the family get together than it is to go and deal with bullshit behavior. Or if you want to give them a chance, you go along, you say, listen, I'm not dealing with da 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 da. If you bring up da 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 da, if you behave like da 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 da, I'm getting out. And then you have to follow through. If they don't respect your boundaries, if they don't want to play by your rules, then get out, folks. It's not your job to change them, but it's your job to say what you're prepared to deal with and what you're not prepared to deal with. And if you walking out creates a problem, then it's everyone else's problem for putting up with the narcissist or to catering for them first. People will soon rise up. People will soon start to deal with it as a collective if you make it everyone else's problem. If you walk out, you make it everyone else's problem. Or maybe you don't. Maybe they don't care whether you've walked out or not. In which case, what were you doing there in the first place, folks? What were you doing there in the first place? Maybe they just wanted you there so you could hand them lots of presents and smile nicely and drink the Christmas wine. Who knows? Who knows? But the bottom line is, folks, we chose our family. You may not believe that, but we chose them to give us our resilience, to toughen us up a little bit. And your family is a forum to grow. It's a forum to grow. So we're not going to be too tough on your family. Even the narcissists, they're there to give you a new set of skills, to get your own power back by saying no, by calling out bullshit. Now, this can be uncomfortable, and the average empath isn't going to like it. Don't like conflict, folks. We don't like conflict. Empaths don't like conflict. And you're like, am I an empath? Well, good people don't like conflict. Let's take empath out of it. Let's take healers and light workers and all of this stuff that I talk about in the channel. Good people Good people, a good person, someone who generally likes to do good, someone who generally likes to keep the peace, and to somebody who doesn't go out looking for fights. There you go. There's the category. Someone who doesn't go out looking for it, looking for an argument. Now, the people that go out looking for an argument is a big indicator that you could be dealing with narcissism. Could be dealing with it because they love it. They thrive in this field. They thrive in it, folks. Throw little knives, passive aggression, little comments, little digs, test, 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 test. Oh, we got a reaction. Yes, the narcissist wins. And it doesn't matter what you say because the fact that you've reacted, they've already got what they wanted. You can't win. Can't win with a narcissist, folks. You can only get out. You can only escape. It's a bit like a bear trap in the woods. Having it there serves nobody but the person that put it there to catch somebody and cause pain. That's it. That's the role of a narcissist is a bear trap in the woods. It will only cause pain. And the only person that knows it there is the narcissist who put it there to cause pain. That's what you're dealing with, folks. So this is an invitation this Christmas, a present to yourself to get in touch with your own energy, to firmly establish your own boundaries and be absolutely certain that when you hit a certain point, you will walk away. There's your freedom, folks, is to walk away. You can't control other people's behavior, but what you can do is influence it. You can influence it. Because if you've got a narcissist in the family unit and they're getting away with murder all the time, they're ruffling feathers one at a time. They usually go rounds. They've usually got fair, easy targets because they know which buttons to press. And if you don't stand up to them, they get away with it. You're validating their reality. You're making it okay for them to do that, not just to you, but to other people. You're accepting it. Bad things happen when good people do nothing. When we hold our voice, when we bite our tongue, folks, when we think we're keeping the peace, you're not keeping the peace. You are absolutely not. You can see, you're the person that's sitting in the airport that can see that somebody's just left a ticking bomb in the middle of it. But it's not your problem. You just walk out the airport, or maybe you stay there and deal with the blast with the rest of them. But not dealing with a narcissist is leaving a ticking time bomb, is knowing that there's a bomb in the airport and you're not going to tell anybody about it because it's not your problem. But it could be your problem if that bomb goes off, folks. And that's what you're dealing with. So the bottom line is you need to love yourself enough to not accept bullshit. You might let the first passive aggressive comment go, yellow card. If you let the second one go, it's Christmas, maybe second yellow, maybe a caution. But if you let the third one go and you keep letting it go, then if you don't go straight to the red card, which is like for like, match the energy or get out, you will adversely affect your mental health. You'll go home thinking about it afterwards. You'll torture yourself. Why did I put up with that? Why did I tolerate that? And that's when you realize that you haven't done anyone any favors, least of all yourself, if you're thinking about it afterwards and it's playing on repeat in your head. Things you could have done, things you should have done. Why was I even there? Well, it's only a problem, folks, if you don't change the behavior. And if that happened last Christmas and the Christmas before and the Christmas before that, then go in with a new set of rules and say right from the bat, no, if you start, I'm out. And if they start, get out. It doesn't matter what stage. Even if you're midway through your dinner, get out. Get out. Or if it's your fault, if you're your house, kick them out. Kick them out. Tell them to get out. I warned you. You didn't believe me. Get out. If you have to make that stand and make everyone else uncomfortable, they might be uncomfortable and they might tell you you shouldn't have done that. But bollocks to them, folks. You needed to do that. You needed to make your stand. And that would be my message to you. And you may not agree with this. You may not be ready for that. You might say, but Adam, it's Christmas. It's peace and love. Well, there's no peace and love if you're letting the fox in the chicken pen, folks, which is the narcissist at the family dinner. They'll eat all the chickens in front of you. And then you can lick their lips at the end of it, as you say, that was naughty. And they go, thanks very much. And off they go. And then you invite them back next Christmas. Well, that's on you, folks. They do it once. That's on them. They do it twice. Peace and love at Christmas, second chance. I'm all for that. If it's happened twice and you're inviting them back for a third time, then that's on you, folks. You've got to take some responsibility or accountability. If you're showing up to that gathering knowing the track record, that's on you. And that's how you take an empowered approach. You might sabotage Christmas for a few people. You might cause ripples in the matrix. But this is a rite of passage for you and your sanity, folks. And there you go. There's my little tuppence worth. But that's coming from the guy who's red carded the family this year. So, and I'm absolutely looking forward to it and hanging out with my friends. I've got a couple of busy week. I'm catching up with friends for the next few weeks and after Christmas, and I will enjoy that. But Christmas Day itself, I'm actually looking forward to a day with my feet up, eating what I want, drinking what I want, and tolerating zero bullshit because frequent offenders, folks. Frequent offenders, they cannot control themselves, so I'm not putting up with it. And that's the end game for most empaths, folks, or good people. If you're dealing with narcissists, that's the end game for a lot of you out there. And if you haven't woken up to that, my friends, then I wish you good luck on your journey. And hopefully, this video will give you the tools and the pep talk that you need to make this Christmas a better one for you so that all of your future Christmases will be a step in the right direction. I wish you luck, my Jedi friends. Use the Force. Don't deal with family nonsense. Be strong, be firm in your boundaries, in what you will and you won't tolerate. And this Christmas will be much better for you. And to those of you who are new to the channel, who are finding this for the first time, then you'll get more pieces to this jigsaw and exercises how to help you on this journey to develop the skill set to do all of the things that we talk about on here, to feel better, to be a Jedi, to increase your mind, your tools in your mind, to feel better on a consistent basis. Then I suggest that you like and subscribe to this channel. And if you want another piece of the jigsaw, it's just there. So go forth, enjoy your Christmas, my friends, and make sure that you have fun regardless whether anyone else does.